Good evening and welcome to our channel, Witches and Midnight Margaritas. And tonight we've got a treat because we're going to talk about spirit boards. Now, I'm sure everybody and their donkey has heard about spirit boards. And tonight we just want to show you how to do it safely, and our general experience with them. We are not going to do it for you tonight, though, because we don't believe that's something that should be put on film, unless you have a lot of other stuff going on. But for sake of anything else, we're going to show you everything that we can. So, yeah, we're just going to go on ahead and begin. Go ahead if you want to say something.
We're just going to, well, you will cast probably need to cast a salt circle.
You should.
And we will kind of talk about that a little bit later. But just for your own protection, a salt circle around you, your board.
Yes.
And everybody that's working with the spirit board at the time.
It's for safety.
Yeah.
It is for safety. And the thing is, too, you know what? We're going to make a video on how to cast a circle. And then
you check that one out.
Yeah, check that one out for sure. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. You definitely don't have to, but I recommend it.
Especially if you've never worked with a spirit board before.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if you're new to spirit boards, this is one we just picked up at a store, whatever. 8 to adult. I wouldn't, but whatever. I would say children shouldn't play with one of these. Not my recommendation, but I do think that it is handy to have in anybody's practice.
Yeah, as a tool, another tool.
It's just a tool. It is just a tool. And the cool thing about it is that it's a part of divination where you can find answers from spirits or entities.
Right.
And you have to understand, not all of them are going to want to talk to you.
No, they don't always want to talk to you. Sometimes they just don't have anything to say.
Nope, exactly.
So be aware of that as well.
Yeah, you won't always get an answer.
No, not always.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just open it up here. So this is the board itself. And all that should be really in this box is the board and the little planchette that comes with it. There it is. Get rid of that. And there we go. Want me to take the lid? Okay. So yeah, basically, to begin, like I said, or like we said, you do want to cast yourself a circle. You want to be protected because it's not just, it's not just good things that may or may not come through to speak to you. And when you open a board and start talking, you have to be aware that there are all sorts of things out there that will want to talk. Not necessarily to you, they just want to talk. And which is why we are very huge on protection for stuff like this. So yeah, we do use this one. What's on that? We did make a list. We got to make lists. We're getting old. Okay, so one of the things you want to do is know your questions that you want to ask. Please don't just sit down and say something stupid. Yes, I said stupid. Like anyone that wants to talk, come on in.
No, we don't want to do that. You don't ever want to do that because you don't know who you're going to get coming at you.
Do not leave an open invitation.
No.
Do not. If you suspect that there's an entity or a ghost in your house or something like that, you can invite them specifically by saying that.
Yes.
The person that had wanted my attention or whatever.
Yeah.
Do not open it with whoever and whatever.
No, absolutely not. Usually when you're working with a Ouija board, you kind of know who you want to talk to. So you want to make specifics to that person that you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Right? So that you're not just inviting anybody and anything in.
Yeah. And it can be, if you have a loved one that's departed, If you have or are in communication with your spirit guides, it can be your spirit guides.
Yeah.
Or if you have the nagging feeling that someone or something needs to give you a message, these are all good reasons to do this. I wouldn't do it alone myself, because when we do it, we tend to take notes.
Right.
So we'll get to that in a second, though. But essentially, what you want to do, and it's just two of us right now, right? But we have casted our circle so we're protected from everything. And we would all put both of our hands on the planchette. That's what this is called. And we would ask our question. And you don't need to like,
No,
it's just very lightly.
Yeah,
because
barely touching.
all you're doing is you're giving energy from your body into this so that the spirits can use that energy as well to move it around and spell out words or say yes or say no. So that's a good thing to know too. And that's all you do. And if you ask a question and there's a really long pause for no answer, everybody take their hands off and then center it again and then ask something else or ask again.
Make your questions short and precise.
Yeah.
Because they'll get confused if you do not do that.
Yeah.
And they won't answer because they don't know what you're asking.
Exactly. Because they're in a different dimension than us, right? So you also have to understand that answers that come to your questions may not be spelled right to us, or they might be short and curt or have a jumble of letters that are an anagram or backwards. Like, it can be very vague sometimes, right? And a lot of times that'll happen when it's not as strong a spirit coming through or whatever. So it's really good to have one person, when you guys take a break, just kind of write down what was said and what was asked and answered. So,
or you can just write down the letters that come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So that you kind of remember what all of them are for that answer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, again, unless you know what you're doing and you are a very seasoned pro at using spirit boards, please do not, and I cannot say this enough, just sit down and invite whoever wants to speak. Because spirits and entities on the other dimension from us understand the word invite completely different than we do. And when you invite, you could be inviting them into your home to stay, into your body, into whatever. So don't do that. This is not a toy. It's not, no matter if it's marketed for kids. It's not a toy.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. And if things go south, you get creeped out, because that happens time to time, close the damn board.
Say goodbye.
Say goodbye. Done.
And make sure you say goodbye.
Yes, say goodbye. And put this on goodbye, because you are ultimately the one in control. Goodbye. If things go south, like you're really spooked or some weird stuff is happening, end it. And don't be afraid to end it, because you're the one in control. And then what you need to do is cleanse yourself and whoever else is involved with sage. Yeah. Sage is good, white sage. And also eat something. And the reason you want to eat something is because you need to regain your energy. Yeah, you have to understand they're using our energy. It's
energy draining.
Yeah.
They are energy draining. Anything to do with the board or any kind of craft that you're doing is energy draining.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it is. So, also, one other point, this is not a seance.
No, no, it's not.
It can be used during a seance, but there's no point to that. A seance is something completely different. And we may get into that one day, not today.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much all we have for spirit boards. You don't have to buy any certain brand. You can actually even make your own if you like to. Yeah. We just picked this up at the store. Might have ordered it online. I don't remember. We've had it for a bit anyways.
We've had it for a while, yeah.
What you want to make sure too is when you have your planchette is that these are easy moving. Like there's little felt pieces on here, so it moves smoothly. Sometimes you'll get ones that are rubbery, and they'll just, it'll like be really hard to move. Yeah. You need it to be able to, you know, move freely along there.
Yeah. So little felts, I think, would be the best.
Yeah. So if you do pick one up, like...
Or if you want to make your own, make sure that...
Oh, yeah, you could. Yeah.
Put felt on the bottom.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, because it moves freely around. If you're...
You want a smooth surface. If you're making your own,
you
want it very smooth so that it does move as well.
Yeah.
Right? So just be careful how you do it.
Yeah.
When you're making one, if you decide that you'd like to do that.
Absolutely. And a way, once you're done with this, it's always good to cleanse them. You don't want to obviously stick it in the dishwasher, but you can cleanse it with smoke, with sage. You can also cleanse it with salt. Dump salt on it. Rub it around, not too hard. Yeah, and that should cleanse everything off. So, yeah, that's pretty much all we have on spirit boards. I recommend using them. If it spooks you, then don't. You know, then don't. But if you have a curiosity on it and you have a buddy that wants to do it with you, by all means, do it. Just protect yourself. That's
all we can say, really, is protect yourself. Always protect yourself,
yeah.
Especially if you're new to it.
Yeah.
Protect yourself,
yeah.
Because it's just a really good thing to do.
Yeah, and don't look at Hollywood hype media and movies. No. That's stupid. I mean, definitely some people have had some crazy and weird and spooky experiences, but at the end of the day, this is just cardboard, you know?
Exactly.
We're just using it as a tool, albeit more like a chainsaw, which can be dangerous, but you know what? You got to figure it out. So, yeah, that's all I got right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So have fun.
Yes.
With it, but be careful.
Yes. And if you have any spooky stories, leave them in the comments, because we'd love to hear it. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.